Well, hello all you wonderful people. This is, I think, day 3, I don't know. I am continuing to upgrade my Panfish Tracker 17, getting it to how I want it to be. So today I'm going to add rod holders on this side and that. I've got the net holder up there for my net. I've got my tackle caddy up front. I've got that rocket tube mounted for my rod whenever I catch a fish. I have these tracks that I scavenged off my broken Old Town hull. I've got those mounted for either trolling or cameras, whatever I might want to put up there. I want these cups, so basically I have a place to put used line or lures, soft plastics that get kind of beat up and I need to replace. So I want to have tracks for those. So I have 4 tracks to add, and then I just today got my boat numbers so I can put my decal on the side of the boat, and I'll be pretty much legal and ready to go. So I'm just going to continue the upgrades of my Panfish Tracker 17. I already know where I want to put the rod holders. I just have to figure out where I'm going to put the 4 tracks additional. And that's it. And then I think, you know, I may have things I want to add later on, but for now, that's it. And I am excited to get this on the water and fish out of it again. So thanks for joining. So to mount these rod holders, I needed to buy basically 6 stainless steel screws, and I needed them longer than what I had. So these are 1.25 inches. They were a whopping 30 cents each. I bought 12 of them, but I needed that length so it can go all the way through here, and I have enough out of the back to catch it. 1.5 inches too much, so 1.25 was fine. 1 inch was too short. So if you're going to mount these rod holders, you'll need 1.25 inch stainless steel screws, and these were actually size 8, so they would have a small enough head to fit in this little indentation here. The number 10s are too wide, so you needed a size 8 to fit that, to fit these anyway. So now I just have to figure out what drill bit to use, and I think I've shown this before, but if you don't have one of these, they're very handy, and it's just a drill bit hole gauge. My dad gave this to me, so it's got to be, yeah, it's probably 40 or 50 years old. But it's nice because I'm able to take my screw and then I simply find the hole that fits this screw. 5/32 is too big, so it's going to be the 9/64, and that fits it just perfect. For aluminum, I'm going to have to go 9/64. Now if it were wood, well, actually with this plywood, I don't even have to worry about drilling holes because I can just drill right into the marine grade plywood. All right, let's start drilling these holes and get these things mounted. What I'm going to do, I'm going to mount these rod holders. This is the center of the door, or the hatch, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to mount these directly centered on that latch, and then I'll use my level to make sure I keep it level. So let me go ahead. I don't know how much of this you'll be able to really see, if it really even matters. All I'm gonna do is drill holes. So all I'm doing, I am lining up this center slot with the lock on the latch. So I'll show, I guess, with the lock on the latch. So the center slot with the lock on the latch, that's kind of how I'm going to try and keep it so it's mostly centered. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want it to look nice. My drill bit set out as far as it can sit out. Let's see if that's enough to get a hole drilled. Yep, just barely. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put a screw in here because I'll use that kind of as my center point. Keep it that way I can kind of work off of that. So this is going to be tricky. Yeah, I had a hard time doing this earlier. There's just no good way of trying to get these screws in. I may have to get a pair of pliers or something. Or you know what? I've got one of those little clapper thingies. Let me go get that. That'll work. I'll be right back. So I have one of these. I just call it the claw, but I'm going to put my screw in here, and that lets me hold it horizontal so I can get it started into the hole. So if you have one of these, but the problem is there's no room for my big old fat fingers to get in there and hold the screw and then try and screw it in. So I think it's gonna be a perfect solution. All right, so let's go ahead and get that in there. Now I just have to find my starter hole. Go ahead and put my screwdriver in there. Tell you, with that carpet on there, it's hard to tell where you actually drilled. Oops. All right. Well, at least my claw is working. Where is that hole? Getting this first one started is going to be the hardest part. All right, now we found the hole. Good deal. So that was not easy, and it screws right in. And I'm not going to screw it completely tight, but I want it to hold so I can make sure I keep this level. Let's drill hole number 2. I'll go in right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the second screw in just to make sure I keep everything. Well, it is what it is now. That's working great. The claw. That's screwing right in. Perfect. Now see, it's kind of pulled it a little bit off level there, so I just need to, I'll push that up. You know what, I don't think the boat's level. Oh, great. Okay, so let's not worry about being level. I'm going to keep it even here. Great. You know what, the boat isn't level. Good God. The things you don't think about. I've got my trailer hitch, or the trailer wheel. It's actually tilting up like this, so just learn from my mistakes. So now I'm just going to have to eyeball this, but the good thing is it's not that bad. But yeah, when I've had that level, the boat is not level. The boat is tilted this way just a little bit, which is causing the level to not be very accurate. There you go. All right, well, live and learn. That's all we can do, right? All right, so I'm going to drill hole number 3, and I'm just, luckily this isn't bad. These are all pretty much right where I want them to be, so that's a good thing. Now I can drill through here. And that's aluminum, so it's nice to know I'm drilling into aluminum. All right, let's get screw number 3 started. This is working perfectly, by the way. A little bit of brilliance for the day, I guess. I'm able to get that right in there, and you know, once you have this middle screw in, the rest of them are easy because the hole, you know where the hole is, obviously. So let's go ahead and get that screwed in. All right. Now I am going to go ahead and tighten this one down enough, or tighten these top ones down, because I don't want it to move any when I put these bottom screws in. So let's go ahead and we're going to tighten this down. They're not completely tight, but they're tight enough so it won't move now when I drill these bottom holes. All right, so you can see the process. Nothing hard, obviously, just a little tedious. So you need some way to hold the screw in there, and that little claw is working perfectly. If your boat isn't level, don't try and use a level. That's another thing to think about. So I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom 3 screws, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do the same thing with this other one. Okay, I'm getting ready to mount rod holder number 2. I'll do this once and probably never do it again. So like over there I learned, you know, just even thinking about my level, you know, little things like that you just don't realize. So I hope if anybody actually watches this video, they'll learn from the mistakes I'm making and you know, keep someone else from making the same mistake. Again, this is great. You know, it's got a nice, you know, it looks great. I'm gonna put rods and stuff in it, but it's nice and it's actually right along the edge. That's where I wanted it. So very solid. I'm excited. Just one more thing, like I said, I'm getting this sucker. It's funny, this is going to be my boat yak, I guess. So all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this mounted on here. This is awesome. I'm loving it. And I pretty much fish by myself. I mean, my wife's not a fisher person. She'll come out with me, mostly the boat ride, which is fine. And I'll have a few people, maybe grandkids in the back on a few times, but for the most part, this is just me fishing. So this is a freaking awesome platform so far. Just have to pimp it out a little bit. One thing different I'm doing is I am holding, now that I've got my claw here to hold the screw, I'm holding this on the same place I just drilled, so I won't have to hunt so hard. Screw where it needs to be. All right, just one more thing. If I had, you know, I've only done it once, so this is the second time, and already I'm figuring out ways to streamline it and make it better. One other thing, when you look down inside, you can see the hole for the screw. So it's real easy, and then your screwdriver just fits right in there. And you know, since it's locked in now, I don't have to worry about trying to find that screw hole. It's very easy. But everything I'm doing, I have thought about for, well, you know, I got this boat, I want to say late August. I can't remember now. I fished out of it at least 5 or 6 times. You know, my only advice on that part would be, don't do anything until you get, if you decide to get this boat, don't do anything yet. Fish out of it. Kind of figure out what is, you know, what you don't like, what would be helpful. All right, there they are. Both sides centered on the latches. You know, if I'm walking down the aisle here, or the center part here, I can still have room to walk. Now, if my rods are in there, it's going to be a little tight, but you know, I can always step over here. I don't walk to the back, but if I do want to fish out of the back, I can. So let me put some rods in here, see what it looks like. Okay, I freaking love this. This is awesome. So now I've got, and generally I carry 6 or 7 rods, so I've got a holder for each of my rods. And they actually, you can tell, they actually go down inside, so they're locked in. So when I'm on the lake driving around, I don't have to worry about them falling out. Don't have to worry about them being on the side, like on this side, and bouncing out or whatever. They're pretty much locked in there in that holder. I've got my net. My net is very accessible. It's not in the way of the rods. And so now, and then I've got my rocket tube. I decided to have it angle back just a little bit. And so I've got, whenever I catch a fish, I've got a place to put that rod. This is awesome. I am so excited. I'm loving this. This is so cool. Now I guess when I open the live well, it still opens just fine. No problem there. I didn't think about that. Oops. But it's fine. That's awesome. Now the only thing I have left to do are my tracks. And I already know I want to put one here. I'm going to put one back here, but you can see what that looks like. That is freaking awesome, man. My 3 rods, or my 6 rods, my rod up front, my net. And these are all the things, as I was talking, I think earlier, I was saying that, you know, don't do anything to your boat until you fish out of it, because what I noticed is when I'm in the boat, I've got rods laying on this side, I've got them laying on the sides, I've got them kind of propped up on the seat, falling over. The net was always in the way. I didn't know where to put it. You know, I'd lean it on the seat, I'd put it on the side. And then when I caught fish, I didn't know with my rod. So everything I've added is something that I've found to be lacking when I fished. And then the other thing, of course, adding this tackle caddy right here, you know, when I needed the grips or the clamps to get the hook out, or if I needed to tie on a new lure, tie on a new leader, I had to open my hatch, and I had to open this hatch, and I had everything in just a little bag, which was not convenient. So everything I'm doing has been the result of fishing in this for honestly just about 5 or 6 times. And these are the things that jumped out at me. And the biggest irritant I had at first was this seat, because it locked. Like this seat back here, I haven't done anything to move this. You've got a lever you've got to move. And when you're trying to fish up front and you've got to reach down between your legs and do a lever to go this way and a lever to go, oh God, I hated that. That'll be my biggest negative about the boat, is that seat. And not the seat itself. The seat's very comfortable, but that locking mechanism, it just is irritating. There should be a way to disable that easier than what I did, but I've got a video showing that, so no big deal. Okay, now for these cup holders, they're kayak cup holder. These are definitely an off-brand Yak Hacker. So I'm gonna put, I think it would be nice to have kind of, let's see, we'll go in the center. I'll go off of the cup holder. I just think it would be nice to have a cup right about here, so when I'm fishing and I'm, you know, and I'm sitting there and I've, you know, a Kitech needs to be replaced, I can just throw it in here. And this is going to be basically, I have a cup holder right here, so this is really for more trash, line, braid, things I don't want to get into the water. So this is what I'm doing. So I'm going to put this, I think that's about right. You know, I can throw stuff in there. It's not in the way of anything. Yeah, right here. We're going to put it right here. And I am going to get my tape measure and make sure that I keep this the same off the edge here, so it, because the side of the boat actually comes out, but I want it to be, you know, I want it to look nice, so I want it to have it parallel to the side here. Let me get my tape measure real quick. What I ended up doing, this is 5 inches off of this edge. This to here is a 1-inch difference where it keeps bowing out. And at first I kind of had it even with that, but I really think in the long haul having it straight with, or parallel with the edge of this, is going to be the best way to go. So I just measured 5 inches on both ends. I've already put my first 2 screws in. That's the nice thing about this marine plywood. It's very easy to work with. So, and one thing I learned from the first track I did, you want to make sure that as you're doing this, you kind of hold these tracks open, because if you don't, they tend to want to squeeze together. Again, little things you learn as you do this, where since I've never done it before, and see, this is going right in. This is easy. Now, I've got my torque set on 4. I don't want to strip these out for sure, although I guess going into plywood would be pretty hard to strip them out. But I'll tighten them down with a regular Phillips head once I'm done. There we go. Cool deal. So I'm just going to tighten these down. You got to get it into the, you got to pull that carpet, or pull it down into the carpet, I guess. And these are nice and sturdy. These are only $19 for 4 of them. That wasn't bad at all. One more. I was a little bit worried about these being flimsy, but it's nice and sturdy. All right, now let's see how the cup does. Put your cup in there, and it just tightens down. And there you go. Got me a trash cup now. It's not going anywhere. Cool. There you go. Trash cup is mounted. And then another nice thing, it's going to kind of help hold up the edge of the cover, because the water tends to pool on it, and I thought, you know, these I can just leave in here. Good deal. I got wanted to do over there for the cup. This is a wider area back here, so what I've measured 9 inches off of the edge, the straight edge here, and this will be a good spot for the cup. If somebody's fishing back here, they'll have a spot to throw their trash and stuff like that. So I've measured 9 inches off of here. That's 5 inches over there, but it's much wider back here, and I thought this would be it's about right, and it's not in the way of anything. Yeah, I'm gonna like it. So again, I've already started one screw. I'm just trying to get this done. Videoing stuff while you're doing it can be a little bit tedious. I don't mind doing it, it's just sometimes you forget. So just make sure you hold that slot open as you're screwing these in, because like I said, if not, it'll pinch together. Lessons learned. One more. Alright, now I'm gonna tighten down into the carpet with my regular Phillips head. Get these tightened in. Like I said, you can feel it pull down as you do it. And if I do decide to put a camera mount on here, so I'll make sure it'll hold it steady and not, you know, have a lot of wobble to it. Very solid. I don't want to strip anything out, obviously. Make sure we're good and solid. Okay, so this cup is a little bit odd, or I thought it was odd. What you have, if I can get it open here, there's a two-way screw, a little rubber cap, and then this whatever you want to call it, to fit in the track, to fit in there. So what you do, or what I did, is just put this rubber cap on, screw this into there, and then screw this little flange, or whatever you want to call it, to start that there. And so there you go. I mean, it's fine. And then I just slides in here, and you just tighten it down, and there you go. You got a trash cup for back here. So if anybody fishes with me, they'll have a place to put their trash. Cool deal. 2 cup holders mounted. I know I'm losing light pretty fast. I do all this in the evening after work. I think what I'm going to do, I debated, because I do want to be able to mount a camera that's so it can be facing like this, so you get a panoramic view of what I'm doing in the boat. And I can buy YOLO Tech, which fits right here, and it runs off the boat battery. But I'm hesitant to do that because I asked the guy up at Great Outdoors if running a camera off the boat battery could drain it, and he said, well, yeah, it could. I think if I may, you know what, I may wait to mount that. I've got everything mounted, so I've got everything done except for this back rear mount. And I'm just trying to think. My Hero 8 has stopped working. You know, GoPro, love them or hate them, I don't know. I'm starting to hate them, to be quite honest with you. I bought a media mod. It doesn't work. That's $80 down the drain. Now my Hero 8 just stopped working. I have no idea why. I bought a new SIM card for it. Still doesn't work. So I only have 2 cameras right now. And I've been wearing one on my head. So I've got like a hat cam. You know, I'm almost thinking I want that second camera up front here, or I'll be over here, facing me. So until I get that third camera, I really don't need that rear mount back there. And I may change my mind. So I'm gonna wait. So I guess I can call the upgrades done for now. Now let me go get my camera mount, and we'll kind of get this all set up, and I'll show you what it's gonna look like out on the water. Okay, so what do I have? Well, this is awesome. All right, let's kind of start from the back and work our way to the front. So I've got this trash bin back here, a little trash cup, very stable. So if somebody happens to be fishing back here, they got a place to put their trash. Then I've got my 6 rod holders here. So when I'm fishing, I'll be able to switch out rods very easily, not have to dig around in the rod compartment. I've got my net holder mounted, and that also has a place for pliers and scissors. Then a little bit further up here, I've got my rocket tube for my rod if I've caught a fish, and my tackle caddy there for all my odds and ends that I might need to use while I'm out on the lake or river. Then I've got my rod holders for trolling on both sides, and then I've got my other mount for a camera. That's what I was talking about, having a camera maybe up front. There you go. And then I've got my trash cup over there. So this is what we're looking like. It's freaking awesome. I cannot wait to get out now. Everything that was irritating or, you know, just needed to be different, I have basically fixed with these modifications. So I've got this thing rigged out just like I want it. And there may be a few things here and there to do. Like I say, I've still got 2 more tracks to mount, and one of them will be for a camera. Just have to figure out where. So let me know what you think. If you're looking to maybe get a panfish, I can tell you right now, this is an awesome fishing platform. I've really had fun in it. It's not meant for big people, and it's not meant for a lot of people. I mean, I'm 6'3" and 250 pounds basically, 247 if I want to be vain. But I'm a big dude. But it's not like a bass boat. It's different, and this is exactly what I wanted. It reminds me of a kayak, and that's exactly what I've been fishing out of, and I love. And I'm telling you, this Terova Minn Kota trolling motor, I have a video about that too. That thing is awesome. It's well worth the money. I would highly recommend, if you can't afford both, downgrading your Mercury to, I have a 25, and getting the Terova trolling motor, because it definitely makes a difference. It's wonderful on the water. Love spot lock and all the stuff I can do. But this is awesome. You know, I'm set. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get on the water. And I've got my trailer guides mounted, my battery bank working fine. Everything's awesome. I'm loving it. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. 2 thumbs up.